Hey y'all, it's me, Dr. Smina Rahman, GynoGirl. Welcome back to another episode of GynoGirl Presents Sex, Drugs, and Hormones. I'm super excited to have a very amazing guest with me today who's going to talk about all things pussy and more, a
Yes.
lot more. Anyway, today I have Jacqueline Buckingham. She is an amazing advocate for women's health, an actress, activist, entrepreneur, and pioneer of huge pussy energy. She's Texas raised and globally minded, and really has always said she's never played by anyone's rules. Thank you, Jacqueline. Welcome to my podcast.
Oh my God, it's so great to be here. Thank you for having me. I've been so excited about this for months.
Yes, and now we've had a little, but Jacqueline just got married, so congratulations.
I did about a month ago.
Whoa. For all those you video people that will see this, you'll see.
There we have it. I designed it too.
Oh, you did? Oh, wonderful. What
I did.
That's amazing. But, I always like to ask people their journeys into, like, when it comes to women's health advocacy or any of the work that they're doing around, the women's health sphere, and just, really try to encourage, um, you know, uh, women getting, the best quality of life and understanding their bodies and all the things. Tell me what brought you into the space and tell us a little bit about your history. I know that you've been in movies and TV shows and, all the good things. I remember you from, oh gosh, Dave Chappelle's,
Oh, Half Baked.
yes. I'm a Dave Chappelle a fan big time, so I remember you from Half Baked.
Oh my God, he's amazing.
I have brain fog, so I couldn't remember the words.
That was my first role and first audition that I'd ever done. I had just had my son. I was 21 years old. I did not know what I was doing, but I ended up getting this amazing role in what turned out to be like a cult film.
Yes.
And it was so much fun. And before I knew it, I was
going
like,
to ask you, how much fun was it?
it was so much fun. I got to, do my own stunts, die by way of a piranha to the neck and, hold an electric crossbow, but like holding that electric crossbow, like next to Clarence Williams III, from the Mod Squad.
Yes.
In a black latex outfit, which was my own, by the way, was so much fun. It was so much fun. It was supposed to be like a day. It turned into like a week and it was just a blast. So thanks for taking me down that memory lane. Oh, he was so fun and so nice. I mean, and so many people were on that. Like Willie Nelson was in it. Jon Stewart was in it. Yeah, there were so many people. Yeah. It was cool. It was a great first movie experience. Like unbelievable.
Well, I have that memory of you because I watch everything Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, so good. I mean, I think that was actually part of my journey getting here was definitely acting in films and TV and really seeing the roles and playing the roles out there for women, which was amazing. And I played, fantastic, kind of queens of mean and really like with the electric crossbow and very rich heiresses who were like out to conquer the world.
Right.
And I love those kind of roles. Absolutely. And then I started writing my own and I produced this show for Amazon called The Box with Jacqueline. And that was one of the things that led me into where I am now because one of the sketches was called Huge Pussy. Got into film festivals all over. It's going to be re-released next year. And one of the things was we got censored for using that word. And I was like, wow, this is really crazy because...
But if you say pussy cat, there's no censorship.
Yeah, no censorship and no censorship for balls or dick of any kind whatsoever, which I'm all for that. I love balls. I love dick, like love it all.
Yeah.
But I just want the same like equal representation for pussy. And that converged with being a mother of a daughter. I'm a mother of a son who is 28 and my daughter's 10 years younger. So it was a different experience. And I was like, gosh, the world would agree with me right now if I said, hey, what you have, my son, is your parts are equated with courage and strength. But my daughter, your parts are equated with
being a woman.
Shame. And dirty.
Yes.
So truly like that shame, I think is the biggest factor of why I'm sitting here talking to you, because the bottom line is female sexuality has been associated with shame for as
Absolutely.
long as really our history and beyond.
Totally.
And it's such a different story
Mhm.
for big dick energy, right?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
we're like proud of it, where I could be in a
Hectic
business
energy. Yeah.
meeting, yeah,
Yeah.
and say like, "Hey, Samina, like I've got like the balls to be here. I've got the balls for the job." But if I came in and I said, "I've got the pussy for the job," it would not be acceptable
Oh,
unless
yeah.
you were coming to get a job from me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that really struck me in a way that was like, this may seem like a small thing, but it's not. It's very global.
Very much.
And so raising my daughter at that time converged with my global schooling her all over the world. And we had
Mhm.
experiences where we actually couldn't go into a temple because it said, if you're having your period, you
Yeah.
can't come in. And our
Yeah.
guide said point blank, when I
Yeah.
asked him why, he was like, because it's dirty. And I said, okay,
Yeah.
so if I'm having my period, I'm dirty with
Yes.
my 11-year-old. And he goes, yeah, you're dirty. And I thought, he's not trying to offend me here. This is just a cultural norm. And it really does get into healthcare. It
Yeah.
translates into healthcare because we have such a massive gender gap in healthcare.
Absolutely.
And that's why I launched my podcast, because I was like, we really have to uncover this whole part of it too. Because the more we actually know about those parts that
Mhm.
we've been harboring shame about, whether we know it or not, the
Absolutely.
more we know, the more we actually can understand the science, the better off we are. And when we
Absolutely.
pair that with actually having like a truly what I call huge pussy energy lifestyle, which
Mhm.
is really being proud of having a pussy, being
Mhm.
proud of being a woman,
Yes.
being proud of being a woman today on this planet, and, really
Trying
defying all of
everything
that
happening in
shame.
the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
And
everything
so
hap yeah.
my whole goal, my whole mission is to shift that shame to celebration.
Mhm.
And so that, the same thing happens that happened with the word gay. When I was growing up, it was a put down. It was
Yeah.
not a compliment.
Right.
And now corporate flags are waving. And I want that same thing for pussy. I want
Absolutely.
my kids, your kids, our grandkids, etc., to be celebrating huge pussy day.
Yes.
And
I love it.
that's really that's the goal, that's the mission.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's where you and I are so similar in trying to destigmatize shame in
Yeah,
the healthcare setting. And you're absolutely right in saying that it impacts how healthcare is delivered and how
yeah,
women speak about their body parts, right? Because as a gynecologist who treats sexual medicine and menopausal concerns, I see it every day where people are like down there, they use euphemisms
yeah,
and it actually like inhibits their ability to get appropriate healthcare because not
yeah,
everything is the vagina. There's the vulva, there's the vestibule, there's the clitoris, there's the labia. You have to name the words. And so
yeah.
when I'm here in Chicago and I try to help, I try to teach my kids puberty class at school a few years ago, and I brought in my vulva puppet. And I brought it in and I showed and I was like, and the teacher was actually like, that's the first time I actually knew it was the vulva, not the vagina. Like
Yeah,
it's radical how, we look at this area and there's no other area where where women like apologize for not shaving. I'm sorry I didn't shave down there. Like nobody cares. I've seen thousands of pussies, right?
yeah,
Doesn't bother me at all, but
yeah.
every day I have a patient apologizing about it because of the shame. And
Wow.
culturally, I come from a culture of like menstrual shaming, of sex shaming, and
Yeah,
all the things. And it's one of these things where like women of color get even more in it, but because of some of
yeah,
these issues. But I totally agree with
exactly.
you. And I love Betty. Do you remember this Betty White meme that was going around for
Oh,
a
of
while? Like,
course. Of course. Absolutely.
best one.
Of course. And really, when you think about it, it's so true. You
Yeah.
know, it is the strongest place in the world. It is the source of where all life begins.
Mm.
And, in a more kind of philosophical way, when we shame that, we're shaming ourselves, not
Yeah.
just as women, but as all of us. This is where we all come from.
Right.
I
The
mean,
origin of life.
this is this is our original home.
Yeah.
It is the home from which we all hail. And that's the thing that, like, you know, having like pride for where you're from. Like, I'm a Texan and everybody's like, yeah, I'm from Texas and we have such Texas pride. I want us to have pussy pride, all of
Mhm.
us,
Right.
every single person on this planet, because I think it is something that can be unifying. We can disagree about so many different things, but without pussy, the world would be a very boring place.
Absolutely. True on so many levels. And the
Yeah,
meme I'm referring to is the one where she says, "Why do we say grow a pair of balls
that's right.
if you really?" I can't remember the
And
words, but
she's like, how about a pussy that thing can take a pounding?
yeah, exactly. That's,
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's amazing. She is
rest her soul.
I wrote a rap in one of the short films I did, and she's in there. She
Oh,
is
really?
yeah, she made it in the lyrics for sure.
Oh, awesome.
Absolutely. There's a lot of pussy pioneers out there, and I'm so happy to be, really at the forefront and with them, because
Yeah.
I'm most certainly not alone in it. And I've learned so much from my guests on clitorology, right?
Mhm.
Like that show, my podcast is really all about opening the conversation to close the gender gap in healthcare. And
Right.
that's because the more we say something, whether it's pussy or vagina or vulva or vestibule or labia, whatever it is, the
Mhm.
more we say it, the more it becomes normalized. And that's why I'm so thrilled about everybody that's been on my podcast, you including, because we're doing that like in a couple weeks.
Yes.
But I've learned so much, from like Rachel Rubin, for example, who
Mhm.
has taught me that when she was in medical school, they taught her like, hey, don't ask about the clitoris because we
Yes.
don't want to make the woman feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And the clitoris was not even in medical textbooks.
No.
So it was taught to be avoided.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that we can really harness in our culture today, is to go, you know what, that's really silly.
Right.
And
The only organ for pleasure, like, don't talk about
like, don't talk about it,
female pleasure. I just
right? Like that's supposed to make us feel uncomfortable. Like
right. Right.
I'm pretty sure that's the thing that's supposed to make us feel great. So let's definitely talk about it,
Right.
and let's make it a priority, and let's make our health a priority, and let's make knowing about our parts a priority too.
Right. Absolutely. And I think it speaks to even on volumes about how even like, you know, women's pleasure isn't, sort of at the forefront of any issue, right? And women's suffering is actually accepted, right? I think
Oh
last
yeah.
year at the menopause conference, we had Sue Dominus there who wrote the article about, women are misled about menopause. And that was
Yeah.
one of the things she said that she really found to be so significant is that as a culture, we accept women's suffering across the board, across the board,
Absolutely.
and I
Absolutely.
can say as a gynecologist, like I trained in a patriarchal society. I mean, in a patriarchal setup, right? Where like,
Yeah.
people are like, well, I mean, before I became really like into sexual medicine and menopause 10 years ago, of
Yeah.
course, we were told that the cervix didn't have nerve endings. You don't have to use anything for IUD insertions. Like, don't
Yeah.
look at the these things that are just like accepted part of,
Right.
women's pain and suffering.
Yeah. That has become absolutely normalized, and that must stop. And I do believe that stops like one woman at a time. So
Absolutely.
if one woman speaks up, what's coming to mind is Chelsea Leland, who was on my podcast, and she's an
Mhm.
amazing advocate for endometriosis and has a phenomenal product called Looney, and
Yeah.
has a whole community. And, that's something that we spoke about at length, was just how normal it was, how many times she got sent away and all the people in her community got sent away. It was just like, you know what? It's just going to be painful, honey. Just
Mhm.
guess you got to grin and bear it. And that's not right. It's absolutely not right. It should be like, no, let's find the source of this problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think once the conversation is normalized, then maybe people start investing in women, right? Start investing in
Yeah.
their research. Like I think that's something that we're still lacking, and that's why.
Oh, oh, oh,
Yeah.
oh, yes. I mean, Lisa Mosconi talks about that at length.
Yes.
She wrote The Female Brain, and neuroscientist,
Yes.
right, The Menopause Brain.
Menopause brain. Yeah.
Amazing researcher and advocate. And her data is really harrowing when it comes to the funding. But people are changing that too. Like not all on the downside, but like on the upside. Halle Berry, like, hi, yes, amazing.
Yes.
Her advocacy, being out there really talking about, hey, this is
Going to
super
the
important. That's changing things. And the more of us that are out there talking about this, the faster it can happen. And the better things can be for ourselves, for our daughters, for our friends, for our moms, and honestly, for all of the men in our lives that benefit from our pussies feeling great.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I mean, that's truly like if you ever, like read about or even talk to Dr. Irwin Goldstein, who started really the field of female sexual medicine.
Yeah.
He's one of our mentors and someone that I, precepted with, and he talks about how he was on the original Viagra paper, and he was the one that helped bring it to the forefront. And the reason female sexual medicine sort of even started getting evolved was because who are these people having sex with? Usually other
Yeah.
women, and these women were like, "What about us? Like, who's going to help our painful sex or our
Yeah.
issues?" And so,
Absolutely.
that's what.
Well, shout out to, you know, Addie, right?
Mhm.
Developed by amazing, Pink Cindy,
Since
right? And
yes,
she,
she's awesome.
right? She was like, Viagra got approved in like 6 weeks and it took her about 6 years.
Yes.
But she did it and she got it done. And I'm so thrilled that she's bringing up, I think, a really important point, which isn't just like, how's your health? The question that she asks is, are you satisfied?
Are you satisfied? Yeah. Or how or what's pleasure look like for you, right? Like,
Yeah, and that's such a question that's like, "Oh, hmm,
yeah,
no one's ever has anyone ever asked you, "Are you satisfied?"
right.
Like, that's like I, like, stopped dead in my tracks when she said that. It was like, "Oh my god.
Yes.
Wow. Wow." So, that I want that to be the norm, though. I want that to
Yeah.
be the norm where we're like, "Oh, you know what? No, I'm not satisfied. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go,
Figure it out.
go get this whether it's a procedure or a tool or a doctor's
Mhm.
visit, whatever
Or
it is. Maybe it's
or
just a set of questions. Maybe it is investing in your huge pussy energy, for example, which would be
mhm.
like working with me.
Yeah. So, yeah, tell me what you guys are doing over at Huge Pussy. What are some of the things that you guys are up to over there?
Yeah. So a few things are I am working with women again individually. And
Mhm.
that is something that I've been really excited about doing, but needed to really create the space for.
Yes.
And I think in talking with so many of the doctors like yourself, it's like, oh my God, so many women out here have gone through a lot of trauma
Yeah.
and are struggling to get that back. So maybe you fixed the medical thing, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
But then there's the emotional thing, there's the lifestyle piece of
Mhm.
getting your life back.
Yeah.
And we don't really have a word for what that means. Absolutely. The word I'm pioneering is huge pussy energy. And
Okay.
I don't think there's any other word that encapsulates what that means, but
Mhm.
it does mean that you're creating your own rules. And so
Mhm.
my rules may not be the same as your rules, but I coach women who want to be more in control of their lives. And they may be already a lot in control of their lives, but they want to be more so.
Mhm.
They could seem like they're completely in control of everything, but there's a part of all of us that has that shame that's been holding us back, whether we know it or not. And my work with individuals and now with groups is in pinpointing that, uncovering it. And that's how you make change. You make change by really understanding, hey, this has been kind of laying around in the back of your closet, kind of stinking the whole place up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's take it out and let's transform it. Really, it's
Right.
it's like it's like the phoenix, rising from the ashes in a way where I look at any kind of pain that we go through as power
Mhm.
because it's raw material. So I look at it as like a ball of clay. Everybody's given a ball of clay. We're all given something that we've got to transform from the negative to the positive, but
Yeah.
we get to use that. So that's the most inspiring thing and the thing I love to do the most is help women take that thing that's held them down and let it be that thing that rises them up
Yeah.
because huge pussy energy rises together. And the
Yeah.
more we are together, and this is why I'm now doing groups,
Mhm.
um, because the more we can support each other in it, the better. Oh my God, the better. So I'm really, really excited about that. That is kind of first and foremost for me. And then season 3 of Clitorology is
Wonderful.
coming out on October 3rd. And I'm thrilled about that. Actually, we kick it off with Cindy,
Hmm. I'm
and we kick it off with women's pleasure and really prioritizing that. And that's really the theme this
Yes.
season. I've got some phenomenal guests, and I think we're really talking more about advocacy in a way that is overt. Um, Anousheh Hossein is one of my guests, and she is such a powerhouse
Yeah.
for women's rights in terms of what women have gone through, especially women of color in reproduction. So season 3 is coming up, and you can find that at Clitorology. And then, in addition to that, I've got a series of films coming out. And that is kind of my first love. My creative juices get to be all sorts of inappropriate and wrong. I call it raunchy for a reason.
Right.
And so I am releasing a film that is coming up like really just in a couple months. So please follow my all of my socials, which I know are going to
That'll
be on
be in
here.
all of the show notes. Yeah.
Yes, but it's like Jacqueline, like Kennedy, Buckingham, like the palace is that how I tell people to remember it, and then they know how
That's
to
really good.
sell it.
Yeah.
And then obviously Clitorology is
Amazing.
the show.
Yeah.
And then actually with Huge Pussy, it was a little bit of a long road, but my Instagram was actually seized by a certain company because of the name Pussy, and I just got it back. So huge
What?
win there.
I actually wondered
And
because I hadn't seen you post in a while. So I was like,
yeah, and
I thought it
so
was the wedding thing.
no, it wasn't. It was that I had to kind of actually I've had to be a little bit of I mean, like I've been kicked off so many things so many times, whether
I've
it's
been there.
Amazon or Google, like I can't advertise anywhere.
Yeah.
And actually that's what one of the films is about. It's the story of being censored and how more companies now are becoming aware of that
Mhm.
and really joining the huge pussy energy force. So
Amazing.
becoming aware of it and changing their policies.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. And so that Instagram handle is at the huge life. So that's
Yeah.
TheHugeLife. So at the huge life. And that's really everything huge pussy energy. And I'm so happy that that's back.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, this censorship thing is a big deal because, you can't say the word vagina, you can't say
No,
uh, any word around vagina. And then even sex, sometimes if you put sex in your notes, they get censored.
that's right.
It's
Exactly.
insane, actually.
No,
You
it,
can say
it is,
all day
it,
long.
it really is amazingly backwards.
Mhm.
And it does set us back in a way that is not right. This is actually why I'm moving kind of all of my stuff over to a brand new YouTube channel.
Okay.
And I'll give you this one too. It has not launched yet. It's launching in a couple of weeks.
Oh,
But
wonderful.
the great thing is YouTube has been really supportive of everything. They have not censored us in any way. They
Uh-huh.
haven't censored any of my short films, which are they're feminist films. I mean,
Sure.
they are really in a world where like calling somebody a pussy is a compliment, right?
Yeah.
In a
Yeah.
world where buying heavy flow tampons is like the sexiest turn on, right? Ever. They are, they're fun and those got censored. And so
Wow.
we've moved from Amazon over to YouTube and are actually working with their kind of whole advocacy arm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm thrilled to have their support in that because one of my other things is I've got a foundation, and that foundation supports other female filmmakers who have been censored in their countries.
Oh,
Because
wow.
the
That's
fact of the matter,
amazing.
thanks, yeah. So I'm excited. We're doing some new ones, and just stay following because that one is actually going to be global. I was just traveling all over Europe and created some great partnerships. And this next film is going to have voices from women all over the world. And it's women who have been censored. I'd love for you to be a part of it. So
Yeah.
many of the people who have been on my podcast are part of it. But this is something where it is the more voices, the better.
Mhm.
It's most definitely activist in nature, and it's there to really uplift us.
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah, I'd love to be a part of it, and I'm happy that you're doing it because that's amazing to get sort of a worldwide view on that.
Yeah.
And it's just awful that you can't even like advocate for your own. Like, I'll tell you a side story that when I took my kids to see Barbie, like last summer, and so
Yeah.
at the time, I think I've told the story on this podcast before, but at the time my daughter was 4, my other daughter was 12. And, there's that scene where Robbie says, "I don't have a vagina and he doesn't have a penis." And my 4-year-old blurts out, "But mommy, we have vaginas, right?"
Yes. Oh my God, I love it so much. I love it so much. Oh,
And but it's interesting because there was a lady that approached me at the end and she's like, like, "What's," and I'm like, "If you're okay teaching your kid a nose, you should be okay teaching them what the other body part is that,
right.
is the giver of life, like you say. Like it is."
That's right. At the bottom line, these are parts. Like,
Yeah.
really, truly, these are parts. These are like our physical parts that make us up. There shouldn't be any kind of stigma around any of them any more for our wrist than, like you said, our nose. It is a part. That's what it is.
And it's
Yeah.
just and like I said, it inhibits people's, diagnoses and healthcare and everything, and so
Yeah.
it becomes a big barrier.
Yeah, it really does. It really, really does. It's amazing. I'm so happy though to know that story because your daughter is at the forefront. She's at the forefront of changing things, right?
Yeah.
People could have heard, right? There could have been other people who heard her, right? Like the other
Said it
lady
very
or other,
loudly, like a
yeah,
four-year-old.
everyone heard her. And look at how that's changed. And that's because of you. I mean, it really is like the microcosm of the macrocosm. The more you shift things for everybody in your whole sphere, anybody who even comes within, you know, an inch of your entire aura gets that feeling. And I mean, I
Some big pussy energy.
it's huge.
Huge,
I always say
sorry,
like,
huge pussy. Sorry.
I always say big is not big enough.
Yeah, it's huge.
Size does matter.
Yeah,
And there is a reason people have been like, why huge? Why huge? And I'm like, okay, let me just tell you why.
yeah,
Because size does matter. We've
yeah,
been encouraged to be small.
yeah,
It's been like glorified to be diminutive, to be
mhm,
tiny.
yeah,
And we've got to be loud. We've got to be bold. We've got to live large. We've got to take up space. And
yeah.
we've got to make up our own revolutionary rules, period.
I mean, it's so interesting because just like you're saying, this whole huge thing, like patients are always like, oh, when they have painful sex, I think it's because he's too big, or maybe I'm just really tiny. Like they say with sort of like pride that, like, I have a
Yeah.
very tight vagina or a very tiny
Yeah.
vagina. And you're just like, mine is gaping. I got 3 kids, okay? And so I can't even hold my urine, which is another story.
But like, you know what? Why isn't that a sign of like, bravado in some way? Like
Yeah.
why couldn't it be, right? Like I've sneezed and peed, like why can't that be like, "Oh wow, I've gotten to the point where."
Yeah.
Like, yes, I
I can't
have.
hold my urine.
Yeah. You know what? Like,
I can't hold my urine.
right? Like, why not? I mean, yeah, of course, there's all these things that we can do, and we definitely talk about all those on my show. And
Yeah.
so, hooray that there's all of those things. But also, also, I think it's good to ask ourselves the question, why should I be feeling shame about whether there's blood coming out of me, whether the blood has stopped coming out of me, whether the pee's coming out of me, right, at an opportune or inopportune time?
Right.
Any of this stuff is just honestly, it is functions of parts, and
Yes.
that's all it is. It's
Yeah.
like, should I come in and apologize because like the carburetor on my car is like not working? Like, no, I'd be like, can you fix this? Or maybe I like it this way. I don't know,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. No, it's fun. Yeah, because I mean, I'm always so like when I don't do obstetrics anymore, but when I did, it was like when someone pushed out a 10-pounder, you were like, damn, that's some huge pussy.
Thank you. Well, it is. Like it really truly is.
Like, yeah.
Um, who is telling me about like the, period pain and basically like, I don't know, they did some kind of a study where like if men had the period pain
Oh,
and
yeah.
they were like, oh no, I can't
Yeah.
go to work.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, just imagine if that is childbirth.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Or imagine if that is any of what we go through with
Absolutely.
our reproductive parts.
Mhm.
Oh my God, all of it should just be put up on a pedestal. To me, all of it. We should have vulva sculptures. We should have
Yeah.
just, vaginas everywhere. We
Oh,
should
you
have
need to check
fountains
out,
with
uh,
blood.
I'm gonna send you a picture of my vulva wall that I created. So last week I celebrated 10 years in private practice, and I created a huge vulva wall.
Stop.
No, I gotta show you the picture. You're gonna love it. I'll
Oh my God,
text
I
it to you.
love it.
And I'm gonna have, my producer put a picture of it, but it's a huge wall. It looks like a vulva. It's similar to one that, Gwyneth Paltrow did, like, 3 or 4 years ago, but on a smaller scale because,
Oh my God, so fun.
yeah, and so
So
everyone
fun.
was in love with my vulva. They were like, "I love this wall." I'm like, "Oh my god, thank you. My vulva loves you too."
Oh my God, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. What a cool thing to do. I love that
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, and then my husband's like, "Well, do you think this vulva is gonna offend my other patients that come in for the pain practice?" He has a pain practice, and I was like,
Yeah,
first of all, I don't think most people aren't gonna be able to be like, "Oh, what's the vulva doing up here?" But,
right.
no, I don't think so, because you can put up you put up your skeleton of your spine. Why can't I put my vulva?
Thank you. Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
it is, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, actually, I did an art series which involved menstrual blood and vulva photos as well.
Oh, yes.
And it was really fun and empowering, I have to say. It was part of a workshop I was leading, which was about basically becoming the object of your own desire and taking an image of yourself, which wasn't for anybody else,
Uh-huh.
but that kind of showed you like, this is this is the strongest part of me.
Yes.
And it goes back to like our earliest form of the female figure, which is the Venus of Willendorf in Austria. I was just there and saw her, and she's this big, and she's all orbs,
Yeah, yeah.
and she's the first representation of a human, and she is the object of her own desire because she was a fertility figure. So a woman created that in her mind's eye of herself because she wanted to bring life. So she is all breasts and ass and pussy, and
I
that's
love
it.
it. I love it.
And it's
I'm
so
texting you
good.
a picture, by the way, so you can take a look when you're
Oh, it's so good. I love her so much. And I incorporated that into a workshop, which was really cool. Very cool. Yeah.
I just wanna before you go, I just wanna go back and talk about one aspect that you talked about when you do this coaching is, like,
Yeah.
really, like, understanding pleasure, and I
Yeah.
see this all the time in my patients who have a known biologic cause for either, like, sexual pain or pelvic pain or whatever, and we've actually cured it, but they've lived with it for their whole life, whether or not it's vestibulodynia or,
Yeah.
vaginismus, pelvic floor, overactive pelvic floor, that kinda thing.
Right.
But once they're actually kind of cured from a biologic perspective, they've been living with pain for so long. We always say the absence of pain is not pleasure. It's really trying to figure out how to get them to a point of pleasure again, right? And so I think it's understanding
Well,
like all the senses and all the other things that bring them pleasure. But it's
yeah.
something that no one ever talks about is like, you are actually, from my perspective, when I do your exam, pain free. But
Right.
you can't see that because you've been living in this pain paradigm your whole life.
Oh, wow. That is very heavy hitting for me when you just said that pain paradigm for your whole life.
Mhm.
How important that is to shift that to living in your pleasure paradigm.
And I think that's where the stuff that you're doing is so important and so really tags team with people like me in the sex med space is that, you know, I got you from that perspective and
Yeah.
sex therapists and other things, but there's a coaching that has to happen too. Like a level of like really you understanding that it's okay for you to feel pleasure now. Like it's okay. Like you're not gonna.
Exactly. Exactly, exactly. It's a hurdle that that I think so many women have this big wall,
Mhm.
right? Like they're like, "Oh my God, I can't, I can't, I can't." And that's the goal, right? That's the goal in the coaching is really to identify what that's about.
Yes.
And once you do, then you can start chipping away at it. And once you get over on the other side of the wall, that's like the point of no return because then you don't want to go back there. You don't want to go back to that pain paradigm
Yeah.
because it really doesn't do any good for anybody else. right? It's not doing any good for your daughters or your mom or your friends or your husband or your boyfriend or whatever, your girlfriend or, whomever's in your life,
Yeah.
your dry cleaner. Like it's the happier we are, the better we are to be around, the more joy we create, right? The more productivity. And that is what we need more than ever.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's a whole great way to kind of sum this up because what you're saying is just speaks volumes to so many of the people that I treat and that I know that you help. And so I'm all about the huge pussy energy. I want to get some huge pussy stuff for me. So I can
Yes.
remember.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, please go to hugepussy.org. That's HUGEPUSSY.org. And all the merch is there. We are a philanthropic product line, so you can see where partial
What?
proceeds are going. And we've got some new things. We've got some sold out things, but we're really excited about just all of our products. They've changed my life, most definitely. I always have my mug. And that's how I start my day. And I can't imagine my life without it. Honestly, these to me are a reminder. It's a reminder. It's so easy to go out in
I
the
wear my
world.
clitoris on my neck every day.
Yes, clitoris necklace. Ooh, that's so good. Is that by that artist?
Sophia Wallace, yes.
Yes, I love her. Oh, so awesome. Yeah. So, and anybody can reach me via DM on my Instagram, which is at Jacqueline Buckingham. That's JACQUELINE Buckingham, like the palace. And send me a DM. And that's the best way to talk to me about coaching.
I love it. And this is all going to be in the show notes that my producer writes up as well. So thank you, Jacqueline Buckingham. You're amazing. I can't wait to be on your podcast in a few weeks.
I
And
know, me too.
no, I love everything you do. I love the huge pussy energy. And I hope that it becomes, really a global phenomenon and happy to help you in that endeavor any way possible. Um,
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me today. For those of you listening and watching, I'm Dr. Samina Rahman, GynoGirl. I'm here to educate so you could advocate for yourself. Um, this is GynoGirl Presents Sex, Drugs, and Hormones. Please join me next week for another episode. If you have a second, please subscribe to this podcast. I'd love for you to be a follower and learn as much as you can about the things that we're going to talk about with all the people on our journey. Please review us on Apple or Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. These reviews really help. Review us, comment, tell me what else you want to hear to get more information. My practice website is www.cgcchicago.com. My website for GynoGirl is www.gynogirltv.com. My Instagram is GynoGirl, so please follow me for some good content. Additionally, I have a YouTube channel, GynoGirl TV, where I love to talk about all these things on YouTube. And please subscribe to my newsletter, GynoGirl News, which will be available on my website. I will see you next time.